I felt called to start reading my Bible and start looking in the scriptures. And, actually at first it was just to find reason and cause to end the marriage. And it really just kind of spoke to my heart. And I feel that God touched my heart and actually opened it up to be more pliable, more amenable to not just my wants. And so there was just different scriptures that were there. And I admit I wasn't like fully on board with it. It was just, there was other things that were going on. Like I wanted to see my son again. I, didn't want to go through, a divorce or a messy divorce or anything else to that degree. But there was just things that like I know were God and it wasn't me that were, I know that, there was times there where we were separated that we would speak on the phone and, with every part of my being, I just wanted to, swear at her and tell her to, go F off and, see you in court kind of a thing. I might have said see you in court once or twice, but
one time.
One time. So, so it really, looking back on it at that point, I thought I was, taking the high road kind of thing, but really it was just God, speaking through me, I think.
And the turning point for me was that I went on a trip with my family and I was sitting in the hallway of a hotel where we were staying, sobbing, bawling my eyes out. People were walking by thinking whatever they were thinking, and quite honestly, it didn't matter at that time. But one of the things that Paul said to me was, whether or not I've been the husband that you need or that you deserve, you're my wife. You're my wife. You made that commitment. I am your husband. You are my wife. And I couldn't deny that. I had made a commitment to him, to God. That's really what matters. And now, and then to our son, I made a commitment and I was his wife. We got back together after about 6 weeks of being separated. I had to learn how to be married and everything. And through that process, a few months later, Paul was offered a job up here.
So the first day that we moved up here, Danny and Jenny show up to our house when the moving truck came here and just offered their services to help move some of our stuff.
And then we had him over for dinner a few nights later. Talk. And finally the church conversation came around and I said, well, where are you guys going? And they said, actually, we're starting our own. We said, okay, where, when, what do we bring? What do we do? And we've just really been able to follow Danny and Jenny's vision of church, of the New Testament church, of love, and of the hope that we can only have through God. Yeah. There's no way that our marriage would have lasted or even been enjoyable without that.
God isn't, you can compartmentalize him for so long, but then it's just, he's everywhere. He's in everything. And so I've realized too that it's not like a little kid in like a dark room doing something. You got to shine light on it. You got to have friends. You got to have people that you can talk to. And you got to have, you got to be faithful, and you got to be there and willing to do what God asks you to do. So.
And I think for me, at least at this point, one of the biggest things that I've gained is confidence in and through Christ, and not in and through my husband or my job or my son or friends or lack of friends or anything like that. Until we moved up here and it cooked. And then, we moved up here and started going to church at Jenny and Danny's, and somehow I ended up being in charge of food. So I brought food for everybody this week, or organized it or orchestrated it. And then Jenny and I put on Thanksgiving for 19 people. That's amazing. And so I've gained confidence in that. I've gained confidence in my, I know this is going to sound weird, but girls, you're going to get me. I feel a little bit better about my physical appearance because I know that my husband loves me. I know that God loves me. I need to take care of my body and I need to be as healthy as I can. I might never be a size 0, whatever. God is where I'm going to find my confidence.
The house group that we did really, it served a lot of different purposes. Just for us on a lot of different levels. But I've noticed Kristin actually through this time saying Jenny and Danny's church. And I think there's something important that our church is called Hope. Jenny and Danny are the pastors, but the relationship that's there with my wife, with Jenny and Danny, is important to think about because it's the same relationship that people are looking for and that you have the opportunity to actually give to other people. So people will come to a church because of relationship. So that's where those house groups and the opportunity to serve are so important. So with people that are having like a hard time in life, if they don't have a relationship to pull from, they're not going to go anywhere, and it really is hopelessness. The hope comes through actually being able to have somebody who is there, who's like saying, I'm doing this because I'm being obedient right now to be there, and then letting that person come to them. God's putting those situations together all the time. But it's the relationship, and so it's having those relationships. So it's being open to get hurt because you probably will. Love is absolutely opening yourself up to pain. really we just kind of took a model that we had seen. I mean, there was a lot of different, I think, terms that could have been used for the group, which, you know, maybe launching pad or just like home style kind of a thing, just getting to know each other, just, you know, having fun, hanging out, what have you, with a little bit of like a purpose as far as like, you know, how was your week, getting relational.
And I cooked too.
We got fed, you know, feeding others, and you know, not every week was awesome, and you look forward to it every week. Sometimes, you know, coming home from work, you're like, I could just go on the couch by myself tonight, kind of a thing, especially with me. But I mean, it's once again, it goes back to God just, you know, blessing our lives with some just awesome friends that we wouldn't have met had we not been willing to open up our homes and be there.
And that we're looking forward to seeing again when groups start up, because we miss them.
Is what I got. I said, remember.